this contest is going for is for the WWE Championship.
Life moves pretty fast. You don't stop and look around once in a while, you could miss it.
Welcome to Around the Turnbuckle. I'm the Big Alboski. That guy right there. It's Professor Keith, as always, and joining us from Mississippi, our old friend Hillbilly Joe. What's up, man?
What's up, guys?
We're awesome, man. We're coming off of night one of WrestleMania. Pre-show, we were talking about WrestleMania. Your thoughts overall, now that we're live and in living color on YouTube here, what are your thoughts overall on night one of WrestleMania?
Night one was excellent. It's just going to be hard to compete with night one now. I'm just sitting there. I was looking at the line, the cards and all for tonight, and I'm like, I just don't see if anybody that's on night two can, compete with night one.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to seeing, the Hell in a Cell match.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I'm looking forward to that. And then, I'm looking forward, Dusty Rhodes and Roman Reigns.
Right. The American Nightmare, Cody.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so before we talk about that, David Motorman's got a comment. WrestleMania weekend around the turnbuckle, and I'm excited to hear about the new adventures of Hillbilly Joe. Enjoy the SWA shows. And I noticed a shiny belt and a boot lately. Let's go. David Hill's here. He's like, good evening. Chris is like, what's up, guys? So the gang's all here. Okay, so so night one was great. We all in this room kind of agreed that Charlotte and Rhea Ripley kind of stole the show, even though the main event was really, really good.
Oh, God, yeah.
If that was a 1 and a 1A, Charlotte and Ripley really blew the roof off SoFi Stadium in LA. So, how did you feel that? How did you feel that moment was for Rhea Ripley, Hillbilly Joe?
Oh, I'm pretty sure it was the same moment like me when I won my first, title a couple of weeks ago. It was just, I did everything I could to hold back tears when I won it. I did, and it was just phenomenal. And I'm pretty sure that's the way, Rhea felt, when she won it. Everybody was wanting her to win it.
Mm-hmm.
And they did the right move.
I think even Charlotte was happy for her. They kept showing Charlotte. She's smiling outside the ring.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yes, Jen. The women's match was fire. Absolutely.
Straight fire.
Probably one of the greatest, if not the greatest, female match I've ever seen in my life.
I'm not taking anything away from, the Usos and Kevin Owens and them. If WrestleMania would have went off the air right after Charlotte and Rhea's match, I would have been just as happy.
I agree.
Yeah.
I totally agree. Go ahead, Professor.
I couldn't agree more. God bless everybody that has to go out there tonight because
good luck.
Yeah, how do you top the emotion, the work, everything else that was going on night one? Rhea and Charlotte, absolutely. Yeah, I don't think I've ever seen a women's match as well worked, as emotional, as everything as that match was. I think you had, between that and the Usos match, you had something that approached that Taker Michaels Mania 25 level of almost straight perfection in there.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I
mean,
couldn't agree with you more.
This is one of the best manias I've seen in a while. I mean, and that was only night one. I mean,
I
what do
mean,
we got in store for tonight?
Roman and Cody are gonna try, right? Roman and Cody are gonna try to bring you that kind of level of match that happened last night.
And I think they can.
And I think they can do it, but I'm just saying it's gonna be really hard. Like they really set the bar really high.
Yes.
So I mean, good luck to those guys. But I mean, man, geez, it was amazing. And you know, like, and we talked about we did talk about LA Knight when Miz called out somebody. It was Pat McAfee, and again, I was like, well, okay, yay, everybody's, you know, especially Michael Cole, he's jumping up and down like a bunny rabbit that it's Pat McAfee. It's Pat McAfee, woo! You know, and but you know, I think LA Knight would have been a better. I mean, the fans would have really popped for LA Knight if he came out at that moment. But I see why. Whatever, we'll see what happens tonight. But
yeah, I mean, there's only 6 matches booked. I've heard they're probably going to do the usual Hall of Famers, you know, on the stage segment. I've heard that might be after the women's match. But I mean, I think you could find 5 or 10 minutes to do something with LA Knight. I think part of the problem is just he's a heel, so it's hard to do something to showcase him that isn't going to turn into like, oh, are they turning him babyface? Or the audience is going to turn him babyface. And with who he is, I mean, probably there's a babyface run there down the line. But I think he's got to play out the string a little more now as a heel.
yeah,
Have a little more of an organic kind of turn where the fans are just like, no, we're just not going to boo him anymore. Like, you have no choice. You're going to turn him now.
So recently, and we'll talk more about Mania as the show goes on, but let's switch gears to SWA, Hillbilly Joe, because recently you captured the SWA championship and then also subsequently recently lost it. So talk about capturing it first, that match, and then talk about the match where you lost it.
All right, Kat. I mean, that night, you know, it was awesome. You know, it was 3 or 4 weeks ago when it happened. You know, I've been getting close and close and close and close on getting it, and then just always fell up short. And then that night, the moon and the stars and everything finally lined up for me, and I ended up doing it. Then I had my first title defense about 2 weeks later, 2 or 3 weeks later. Well, he injured my foot, and of course, you know, as being stubborn and being a hillbilly, you know, I'm not going to listen to anybody. So, you know, my medical doctors and SWA medical staff and, you know, general manager and matchmakers and all was like, hey, don't wrestle, man. Just, take your couple of times off to get healed and all that, you know, get back 100%. I told him I can't do that. I mean, my wife's even still mad at me about it. I says I'm a fighting champion. I made a promise to everybody that I'm going to be their fighting champion for them, be the champion they wanted, and be the champion that they have always wanted. And I said I can't let them down. I made a promise, and that's what I'm going to fulfill. So this past Thursday, we was down in Summit, Mississippi, doing a wrestling show for college down there. Well, he took advantage of what he did and ended up, I got a few good moves in him as much as I could. And then he just wanted to, attacking, got a small little hairline fracture in it, nothing major, nothing that, couple of weeks, I'll be, going pretty good on it in a stupid boot that I don't wear much. Wife gets mad at me about that.
I bet she does.
And so, he took advantage of it, but one thing, that they all seen, I didn't give up. I did not tap out. He got me in an ankle lock and I fought that ankle lock till I just couldn't fight anymore. And eventually I just, I passed out due to the pain and all. But that's fine. I did it once. I'm going to do it again.
There you go.
Yeah, and if you guys are watching us and you've never seen Hillbilly Joe, you can check out SWA Southern Wrestling Association on Fight TV. You can actually look it up and you can see a lot of these matches, recent matches, or some of the old stuff that they have on there. It's all on there. You can check it out on Fight TV. Chris Vant has a question for you, Hillbilly Joe, and that is, how did it feel to finally hold that championship in your hands? Like, describe the emotions of it.
Oh, God, it was, it felt just like when my kids was born. That first time you held your son or your daughter in your hands after it was born, it was not quite as awesome as holding your kids when they're born, but it's right there close to it, holding the goal, knowing that you're on top of everything. You are now, and then I felt that. Then I had a few little mixed emotions after my emotions kind of settled down, and I'm like, now everybody's going to be coming after me. So I'm going to have to be on my A game. I'm going to have to watch left, right, up, down, all the way around. I'm check it twice. I'm like, because everybody is going, come after it, and then, I had some people say, well, you want it, at some point you're going to end up losing it. And I told them, I said, at some point, no, I'm not, because I'm going to do everything I can to keep it. And it was just, I felt like a kid at Chuck E. Cheese at that time. It was just, like I said, I thought about tears while I was in the ring and everything. My wife was there. My wife's a big supporter of me, and I couldn't do this without her.
Awesome.
She does everything from making sure my merch table's right, make sure I have I know I'm getting off track, but I got to throw this out.
No, go
ahead. She makes sure my merch table's, set up the way it's supposed to. She makes sure I have all my merchandise, what I have, inventory. She makes sure, all my wrestling gear, is up there and everything. I just, I give her all the credit. It's her. She does everything behind the scenes. I know I couldn't do it behind the scenes. I'm the one getting in the ring, getting beat up, but she's the one that makes sure Hillbilly Joe is 100%, got everything that she needs, that I need for the next match, for this match, for that match. It's constantly, she's reminding me, oh, we got this. We need to figure out this. What we're going to do about this. So I said all this to go back there. It wasn't just me that won the championship belt. It was her just as well, because she had a big part of Hillbilly Joe. And then, all my fans out there, everybody out there, that supports me, that belt right there was not for me. That was for them.
I'm a big believer in giving people their flowers while they're still upright. So that's great that you did that just now for your wife, because she deserves that. Kudos, because behind every great man is a great woman, in my opinion. Mm-hmm. My wife is no different. She's behind the scenes as far as Around the Turnbuckle goes. She makes all the flyers and all that stuff that, the flyers that promote you coming on. That was her. And all that stuff, and she lets me do my wrestling nonsense twice a month. So, she's behind me.
Yeah.
But that being said, you held the championship for a couple of weeks. You lost it sort of due to an injury, and then now is the hunger even more because you tasted it, you had it in your hands. So is the hunger more than it was before you had it in your hands that time?
Oh, most definitely.
To get it back?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. I did I let all my fans know not too long ago, a little update about the injury. And I told them, I said, look, guys, because now I'm calling I'm calling all the fan base and all that, Hillbilly University. and I told him, I said, look, Hillbilly University may be down just for a little bit due to an injury, but Hillbilly University will be back, and we will be back on top. And just like I told him before, I'm going to be a fighting champion just like I was before. I said, this time we're going to come back. We're not going to come back weaker. We're going to come back stronger. And, it's every day, it's eating me up. I said, well, what if I just held off a couple of weeks and then come back and did it again? And I said, like, no, because I made a promise to everybody. No matter what kind of medical advice I had, no matter what, I'm going to be a fighting champion.
Right.
I did everything I could to try to protect my foot and all that, but eventually, he took advantage of it, and bam, I passed out, but I didn't give up. I didn't tap out. Didn't do anything like that. Just the pain and everything just got too much, and I just passed out.
Hopefully the powers that be see that and see fit to expedite a rematch when you are 100% and you are healthy, because, not trying to give you an excuse, and I know you're not trying to make excuses out here. It is what it was. It's what happened. You made a decision. You're a big boy. You knew the risks. But at the same time, what does that match rerun with Hillbilly Joe at 100%? You got to believe there's a greater than average chance it's going to go the other way.
Oh, yeah. But see, I always said that Barry Wolf can't beat me one-on-one, anything like that. Every time he beat me, he had to use something to beat me. He could not beat me 100%. And if it wasn't for the fact that, I probably, there was a couple of times Thursday that I almost had him.
Mm.
And he just went right back to the ankle, and it just, and eventually, it just got to the point where I just couldn't do it anymore. It just, I dragged myself to the ring, dragged myself around, giving high fives, everything. Everybody, everybody seen me. They, I was barely walking. And I don't know. Well, I guess I know, the drilling going through you. At times you don't feel the pain.
Yeah.
And then there's some points when, he had me down on the ground, and then the drilling kind of slowed down a little bit. And then the pain came. And it just seems like he knew at the moment when to actually attack it. It's like he knew, all right, this is the point that I'm going to attack him because his adrenaline's going down some. He's down. It's not pumping, but I will be back. I will, and I will be back on top. It's more now than it was before I first won it, because now I know what I need to do to get back on top. Right. It's like I thought I knew what I needed to do before, but now I know what I got to do.
And a hairline fracture on a man your size. Can you remind people who might be meeting you tonight for the first time how big you are? Because you're a mountain of a man.
I'm 6'7", around 280.
6'7", guys, 280 pounds. This guy's a monster.
He's Undertaker big.
Yeah, that's insane. And so it's a little bit more than if you or I, Keith, got that same fracture on a guy his size. It's, you know what I mean? So it's a little bit more on him, but we wish you a speedy recovery. We can't wait to hear that you're back and you're in the ring, and then you're, getting that rematch for that championship match again. But in the meantime, is there any SWA stuff coming up soon that you could talk about, like right now?
Yeah, April 15th, they got a show. April 15th is it's a fundraiser for a school that they're doing it for. It's in around Laurel, Mississippi. Now, if everybody goes to Facebook, if everybody still uses, still has Facebook, just go to SWA Promotions on Facebook. It's SWA Promotions. here lately, they've been doing a lot of live through Facebook on their events. The last 2 shows we did, they did it live. So I don't know if they're going to do this one live. They might, because right now we're not putting anything on Fight TV. They're redoing all that.
Okay.
But but they can always go back and watch all the stuff that's already on there. But as of right now, they're not doing anything to Fight TV. As far as I know, they're just redoing everything and all that. But yeah, if you go to SWA Promotion on Facebook, you see updates on everything, and they'll probably be posting my injuries updates and all that throughout sometimes on their page, and they'll show announcements and a lot of promos. Everybody, we do promos. You can go in there and listen to promos and stuff like that.
So all you got to do is go to that Facebook page and like it. If you like that page, you'll get notified when they go live.
Yeah, and and a lot of times now they'll put it out. They won't put it out early, but they'll put it out before the show, like an hour, 45 minutes or so, 30 minutes before the show starts. They'll make a little post on their Facebook page talking about we will be airing this show live tonight on our Facebook page.
Awesome. There you go. So yeah, we're definitely going to do that. We're going to like your Facebook page so we can know when you guys go live, because that'd be really cool to see that comeback. I mean, if they air that live, if I'm like just sitting around, I get a notification that says SWA just went live, and I look and it's you coming back into the ring, man, I'm gonna be sitting here popping at my house here.
But I'm gonna go back just a little bit. You remember how the crowd just popped when Raya won last night?
Yes.
You couldn't hear a pin drop when I won the belt neither. I mean, it was just, you couldn't hear anything. And everything. I mean, it don't matter if you're WWE or if you're running a small promotion in any wrestler, it's all the same. The motions in the fans and indie wrestling and the motions in the big time wrestling, it's all the same.
Yep.
It's all the same. It's
and that's the thing, because you're a face, right? So the fans really were dying for that moment for you. And so they had that with Rhea Ripley. Even though she went in as the heel, the collective wanted her to win the championship.
Yes.
Yeah, Mania is a little different crowd, because that's your hardest of the hardcore. I mean, we've been to Manias, Al. We know, especially if you're one of those people that's paying for the 4 seats, you are the hardest of the hardcore.
And we're going next year, Professor.
Yeah, paying those ticket prices for that kind of stuff. And I mean, that's the thing about Mania, and I think that's one of the things that was so great about it this year so far is I don't have that feeling like I do in past years, where that show should really be the barometer of where you're at and where the audience is at and what they want, and where we're going to come out of it and the powers that be are going to be like, yeah, that's that Mania crowd once a year. We placated them. We go back to doing what we want now and kind of ignore what's going on. I think we're going to see it continue. Like, I think I talked to you a couple of days ago and I said, everybody talks about the Raw after Mania, it's an insane crowd and it's kind of throwaway and it does its own thing and whatnot. I don't think it's going to be throwaway this year. I think you're really going to see a concerted effort to come out of Mania and have that direction be the direction going forward. And that's exciting because, like you said, Hillbilly, you're right. It's all about emotion. It's all about the audience. It's all about getting people to invest in what's going on and really adopt their favorites as almost like a family member. Like, when you succeed, they're succeeding right along with you. They're living vicariously through you.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
So we talked a lot about the emotions and everything and the greatness of night one. I thought it'd be fun. And Keith and I did a WrestleMania special where we offered our predictions for the entire card.
Yeah.
But I think it'd be fun to have your thoughts and predictions, Hillbilly Joe, on night 2. So if I throw each match your way, and I'll do it one at a time, I'll see what you think of each match. Are you cool with that?
Let's do it.
All right, so the first one I got popping up here is Brock Lesnar versus Omos.
You know what? If you give me 2 seconds, I can actually pull up what is speculated to be
The order?
The order, yeah.
Yeah, and you're right, and it doesn't matter if we go in order or not, really. But I'm gonna finish it with the championship match. But Brock Lesnar versus Omos. What do you think, Hillbilly Joe?
I think this is going to be another one. I think Omos is going to win. I think this is kind of something sort of just like with John Cena, Brock passing the torch. I think this is kind of something like that because, rumors has it that Brock Lesnar's not coming back.
Right.
And, but you read these stories about Brock Lesnar around every WrestleMania. This is it. Yeah. Brock Lesnar done, this and that. But I think this is kind of sort of something of Brock Lesnar passing the torch over, and I think Omos is going to win this one.
Okay. So we have a fatal 4-way women's tag team match, much like the men did yesterday. Liv Morgan and Raquel Rodriguez versus Natalya and Shotzi versus Ronda Rousey and Shayna Baszler versus Chelsea Green and Sonya Deville in a women's showcase tag team match.
I think Liv Morgan and them's going to win it.
Liv Morgan and Rodriguez.
Yes, because Rodriguez is due for a push. I really think she's really due for a push. Whether if it's for the title, I don't think she's quite ready. I mean, I'm not the one going to sit here and say she's quite ready for the title yet, but
sure.
She's due for a push.
Yeah,
and I think starting off as a tag team champion with Liv Morgan, I think this will be a good push for her to get her build, up and get her ready to go for the women's title. But I think Liv Morgan and Rodriguez are going to win this one.
Okay. I like that. In a Hell in a Cell, it's Edge, which has been rumored to be the Brood version of Edge, versus the Demon Finn Balor. Hell in a Cell. What do you think?
I think Edge is finally going to close this chapter. I think Edge is going to get this one.
Okay.
Because it reports, this is possible Edge actually lasts. I have read where they said this is going to be, Edge's last in-ring competition. But, you get these stories every WrestleMania. This one's going to go, he's not going but I think Edge is going to take this one. He's going to close the chapter on this. He has come so close so many times, but I think Edge is going to do it.
Yeah, and I think that Edge, I don't think this is going to be his last match. I think 2023 is going to be his last year.
Yeah.
If that makes any sense.
Yeah, he's talked about going until I think it's either late this year or early next year.
Right.
They have a big show in Toronto. And he said he's looking at that as probably that's going to be the end.
Yeah.
He'll wrestle on that show, and then he'll be ready to close the chapter and call it a career.
So, yeah, we'll see how that goes. But Hillbilly Joe thinks Edge is going to win. For the Intercontinental Championship, Gunther is defending against Sheamus and Drew McIntyre in a triple threat match.
I think Sheamus is going to get this one.
Really?
Yes. I think Sheamus is going to get this one.
Me and Keith think that Gunther is retaining.
Well, I was torn between that and Sheamus because I don't think they're not going to give Drew the title, the Intercontinental Champion. I think they're fixing to start building him up again and put him back in the main title run.
Well, the rumor has it that he's not re-signing with WWE. Drew McIntyre.
They're having some problems. They're talking, but they're very far apart right now on a contract. So
right. But
so I mean, that leads me to believe that you're right. That leads me to believe that it's either Sheamus or Gunther, but I would lean more towards Gunther because he's right now he's in the middle of his push. I don't, you know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? So taking it off of him would kind of take the stink off of that a little bit.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
I could see where sentimentally they might want to give it to Sheamus because Sheamus has been such a good soldier and all that.
That's the only championship he's never held in WWE.
Right.
Yeah. And I think once they get this triple threat out, I think going through in a Sheamus angle will be a good one. I think that would be a good angle to go with.
Oh God, yeah. I mean that match at Clash of the Castle was insane.
Awesome.
Insane how good it
It was awesome.
Yeah.
WWE's been on fire the past 3 or 4 months. I mean, really since Rumble, basically. It's been an insane 3 months. Insane. For the Raw Women's Championship, Bianca Belair defends against Asuka.
Asuka's gonna get this one.
Ooh,
really?
I think
Keith and I both are on Belair.
I mean, I like Belair.
But
I really think Asuka's gonna do it because I think they owe it to her.
I hope you're right. I love Asuka, but I hope you're right. But I at the same time, Keith and I both picked Bianca, so And Keith, by the way, night one, I think we only had one wrong because we kind of agreed on most of every match.
I was gonna say, based on
we did really good.
I wish I'd put some money on it. I'm looking at it. And I'm like, God, I would have cleaned up.
Yeah, we had just about every match right. I think the one we had wrong was the tag, the 4-way tagged match.
Yeah.
Did we know we picked the Profits? Which one did we? I know we picked one wrong. I just don't remember which one it was. But
it might have been that because
we didn't pick Ricochet and Strowman.
No, I don't. I don't remember. We'd have to go back and watch it.
Right.
I think that one I said was hard to call. That I think I said for momentum it should be Viking Raiders. But if you're just trying to make the fans happy, it would probably be the Street Profits. But I think I was leaning towards Viking Raiders because I thought they needed a good solid win to kind of help keep rebuilding them.
Did you pick Ray over no, did we pick Dominic over Ray?
I think that's the one we might
That's the one we had wrong.
How could y'all pick Dominic over Ray?
I thought he was going to put his father's going to put his son over,
because my
the storyline was way too good to put Dominic over.
I saw that. I thought maybe if they wanted to continue with the, kind of what I'm sure they're gonna do with Theory now, where it's like Dominic cheats and then it's the jackass incessantly going off about, I won, I beat the legend, I beat the Hall of Famer, I beat this great, ain't I so great? And everybody's like, videotape exists, you cheated, you did horrible things, I actually watching the Cena Theory match, I was really sitting there and I was like, oh my God, we had this match in Quakertown with Merrick Miami and Matt Cardona.
Yeah.
Right down to the low blow being the decisive moment for the guy that idolized his hero. He low blows him, hits his finisher on him, and beats him. I'm like, I don't think WWE watched that. I don't think Triple H got on YouTube and watched.
They totally stole a 3WA match. Miami, if you're watching, your boy A-Town Down completely stole your match because he loves A-Town Down. Miami does.
I know he went on Facebook for it.
All right, and the main event, of course, the Universal Championship. Roman Reigns against Cody Rhodes. What do you think, Hillbilly?
American Nightmare.
I
mean, that's gonna complete the reason because Dusty never won it.
Yeah.
And it makes sense. Cody gets it and all that to put a WWE championship in the Rhodes name. I really think Cody's gonna get it. But the reason why I say Cody, because it may not happen, but this is what I would like to happen is, Cody gets it, and then Rock comes back for one match between Roman Reigns and The Rock. The winner is actually the head of the table.
Rock is kind of teasing something about possibly coming in, and I'm hearing Randy Orton's ready to go again.
Yeah,
and that gives you something perfect for Cody to pivot to, where it's like, okay, I finished the story. I got, the heavyweight title in the Rhodes name. I got it done, and now here comes Randy Orton out of his past to be like, but you were the junior guy in Legacy. You were the third guy in Legacy. You were the guy that everybody sneered at and wasn't good and was riding my coattails the hardest, and you're still not good enough. You're still not that good. Everybody knows that you've never beaten me. You never will beat me. And that gives Cody a new dragon to slay. Whereas if you continue on with Roman, no disrespect to Roman, who's been fantastic, but it's just like, where's the next challenge for him? Where's that next hill to conquer? Like, it almost feels like you've kind of hit the point where if you can't get The Rock in anytime soon, Roman just doesn't have that next great story already lined up like Cody, it feels like, does.
I mean, I know you're going to see Cody, and if Cody does pull it off tonight, you're going to see Cody and Roman again because he gets an automatic rematch. I understand that, but you don't want to play it out as long as you did Roman and Brock Lesnar, because I mean, they was losing attention to that. I mean, nobody was buying into it because it just kept on and going and going and going, and it just. I mean, I can see you play Cody and Roman out a couple of more times, and then, bam, like you said, Randy Orton. Because I really want to see if anybody's going to break Ric Flair's record. I would love it to be Randy Orton, because Randy Orton has been 100 faithful to WWE. He took, don't grant it. I mean, he took some time off to go make them couple of movies, but he came right back. He never left to go to another promotion. I mean, I think him and Undertaker is about the only one that I can think of that was, once they came in the WWE, that's where they stayed.
Well, what about John Cena?
Yeah, John Cena left and did a movie and then left.
Well, but I mean, he didn't go to another promotion.
Yeah, he didn't go to another promotion. But
he did change careers similar to what The Rock did.
Yes.
So
I thought that was funny, because remember when John Cena and The Rock, and John Cena came out.
And he's been called out on it on interviews. Like, you remember when he gave The Rock so much hell, and then he's admitted, like, I was wrong. I'll say it. I was wrong. I shouldn't have run my mouth.
Yeah.
ABJ's here. What's up, ABJ? I hope you enjoyed WrestleMania, and I hope you enjoy it tonight. My son, literally 20 minutes before we came on here, showed me a viral video that's passing around by a fan who was driving in his car, and he sees Bray Wyatt in the car next to him in traffic in Los Angeles, and he shouts out to him. You can look it up. It's on YouTube, I believe. And he shouts out to him, "Hey, Bray, why weren't you at Mania last night?" And he goes, "Tune in tomorrow." And then he rolled his window up.
Now, that will be another. Here's my thing. I want to know where they're fixing to go with him, because is Uncle Howdy and him fixing to have a battle? Or
I don't know.
You know what I would like to see? The Finn and Cody Rhodes.
Down the road? You'd like to see those two down the road, like Cody Rhodes?
Yeah.
Like a program between those two?
Yes, because you have the Friend, and then you have the American Nightmare.
Right.
Because, back when Raw not too long ago, Undertaker came out, and he whispered into Bray Wyatt, ear.
Raw 30, the 30th anniversary of Raw. Yeah.
And I felt like he was passing the torch to Bray Wyatt
He
on
might
the
have
dark
been.
side, you know, on the dark side.
Well, what if he said to him, "You'll never be me," and then walked out?
That could have been it.
Yeah,
That could have been it.
that doesn't
But you
feel
never
like
have
that doesn't
another
feel like
Undertaker.
Nobody knows what he said. That's what I'm saying, except Bray Wyatt. So
yeah. Bray Wyatt and Taker's been asked, and he said, "Nah,
that's
that's
for
for him
us.
to know." Yeah,
Yeah.
you don't need to know.
I mean, some people speculate that, you know, this is your place now, whatever, blah, blah, blah. Some people speculate.
I want it to be some nonsense thing that they're just gonna like, play to a hell where he just looked at him and he was just like, salami on rye is amazing or something. Just because they know like everybody's gonna speculate and everybody is gonna turn it into like,
We're all meeting at Applebee's after the show. Make sure you get.
Yeah, like I told him where all the bodies are bare. I told him the secret of how to win the title and the
Now
best
let me ask
thing
you, since
ever.
we're
And
talking
it's
about
just
No,
like,
go ahead. Go ahead.
like, no, I just said ham and cheese.
Go ahead, Joe. What'd you say?
Let me ask y'all, get your opinion. Okay, I guess y'all all read and heard, Undertaker said the hat and the trench coat and all is buried.
It's buried. It's done.
It's never coming back. Do you think he's going to make a return as the biker?
No, I really think he's serious that he is done, and I think he's serious in saying like doing the one-man show, being more open, being more Mark Calloway is a way to stop himself.
Yeah.
If he gets that itch from like trying to get back in there again. I really feel like he didn't just do this stuff to slam the door for the fans. I feel like he did it more to slam the door for himself and stop himself from going in there because, I mean, he said, like, I have the itch all the time. I want to keep doing it, but I've gotten to a place physically where I'm going to embarrass myself and I don't want people to look at me as, remember when he was great, where, the father that grew up on me looks at his son and is just like, he was great once upon a time. Like, if you could have only seen him when I saw him, and I get it, and I respect the hell out of him for it because that's got to be hard to give that up. I mean, Al and I just doing the commentary and stuff and the little bits of recognition and reaction we get, it lights me up. And that's a fraction, I know, of what you guys feel getting in the ring and doing all that. And I can understand to some degree, like, man, that's a drug and that's hard to give that drug up.
Yeah.
David's here. He's like, has Trace Parker ever been on the show? I think he'd be a good guest. And if he turns on Tim Rush and beats him for the title, he'd be one of the youngest SWO champions of all time. No? Well, let me answer some of those. First off, Hillbilly Joe, Trace Parker and Tim Rush wrestle for SWO, which is here in Pennsylvania. Tim Rush has been on our show. Trace Parker has been contacted and will be on our show. Nice. So that answers that. As far as the youngest champions of all time, I think you're right there, but that's a Wolfman question because I'm sure, he knows better than we do who the youngest SWO champion of all time was, but I do know that Trace is a young man. And if he did take the title from Tim Rush, would be one of, if not the youngest. So yeah, that's something you might want to look up, but I hope I answered your question, David.
First off, we got to get Trace Parker to feel comfortable just raising hands to Tim Rush, let alone beating him. My God.
That's a whole nother story.
Talk about mistreatment.
That's a whole nother story.
Yeah.
I'm going to ask y'all something.
Go ahead.
I've been seeing on Facebook that you've been working with, a local promotion and all that as well. Mm-hmm. How do you feel about that? How do you feel about that?
I honestly just did the ring announcing part to fulfill a dream because I didn't think I had it in me to stand in front of that crowd, whether it's 50 people or 200 people. I didn't feel like I had it in me to stand in front of that crowd and actually go through it. And each time I do it, I feel like I'm getting better at it and I feel more comfortable at it. And so it's been just, I'm living a dream as far as that goes. But to be honest with you, calling matches with my brother over here is more fun for me than the ring announcing. Like I would rather be sitting at a table with him, calling the matches, helping put guys over or not put guys, whatever, being part of the show, and also just trying to enhance the product as we obviously are doing, because they like what we're doing, because we're gaining the respect of the community. We're gaining the respect of the guys in the back. They come up to us now and shake their hands and talk to us about little things that, like some guys will come up to us and say, hey, this is what I call my finisher now. Can you put that in there? Like little things like that. And just building relationships behind the curtain when we were just 6 months ago sitting in the front row watching these guys perform. It's been a hell of a ride, and I wouldn't have it any other way.
Man, that's great.
Yeah, it's been amazing to have people come up to me and say, I love what you're doing. Some of the heels even come up to me, and one, top shelf Tyler Sims cornered me at a show out in the hallway, and he acted like he was going to beat the hell out of me for what I was saying on commentary. And then he busted out laughing because he knew he kind of scared me.
Shout out to the original family.
And he's like, I love everything you're doing. Give me all the hell in the world because you are helping me get over. And it is so much fun to go back and watch my match again with what you guys are doing and adding over it. And I mean, yeah, it's humbling and it's a dream, and it's so great to have these guys, walking up to us and being like, thank you for putting us over. And it's like, I'm still at thank you for giving me the opportunity to do that.
Yeah. Joe, I would love it if you even watched like a match that we commentated maybe recently and give us your feedback on that.
I will. What do I need to go to watch it, or can you send me a link or something?
I can send you a link when we're done here. I definitely will.
All right. Oh, I most definitely will.
Awesome. Thank you. I appreciate that. And I'm talking about the commentary, not the ring announcing, because the ring announcing, I'm just going to get better the more that I do it. So, I mean, I've only done it half a dozen times so far.
Yeah.
So, that's just going to come with more. You're doing it more.
Yeah.
But with the commentary, I mean, we did 40. We've done over 40 episodes of 3WA Carnage now, and now we were recording it at home, but now we're doing it live in the building as the matches are happening, and that's a totally different thing.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I mean, very more emotional, and more, reactionary to what's happening. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, I would definitely love your feedback on that.
Oh, I most definitely will. Just send me the link where I can find it, and I love listening to commentary for the matches. I'll go back.
He does the play-by-play. I'm the color. I'm the heel supporter guy.
Yeah.
Like I'm the guy that, if somebody cheats, I explain why he did that.
Yeah.
Forgives it, excuses it.
Because they got to do what they got to do to win.
Because I think it's all, it's just not the wrestlers in the ring, the promoters that promote the wrestling shows, and the referee. A lot of it is the commentators too, because people, when they're watching at home, they're watching the match, but they're hearing y'all.
Yeah.
And they're like, well, this guy's really putting him over, so he must be a good guy. That's who we need to go for. No, well, he's a bad guy, so I like bad guys. I mean, it's like everybody's opinion. I like Chevys over Ford, or stuff like that. But the commentators has a big part in a wrestling event. It's not just the wrestlers. The wrestlers is the main attraction for the event.
Right.
But it's also, the commentators, that's commentating the matches, that's calling the shot, matches and all that. That's what helps make the match good. Although the wrestlers in the ring can't hear y'all, but it all works together.
And the support you get from everybody involved, there's always a production team. There's always the referees. There's the promoter. There's, people that help him out or her. There's, everybody involved behind the scenes in the show work together to put the best product for that person's money who bought that ticket. And that's what it's all about. And that's what I've loved to be part of, is to be part of that group. Like before the show starts, we're back there, and getting ready with everybody and making sure we know what we're doing. And you know what I'm saying? It's awesome. It's awesome. The brotherhood that exists behind the scenes.
Yeah. It's just, it's a big circle that everybody's involved in. And just because you're a commentator does not make you any different than the wrestler that's in the ring. Just because you break down the ring, you set the rings up, that don't make you any different than me being in the ring. I mean, you're just as important as the next guy and the next guy and the next guy. It's all a team effort.
Yeah.
Well, man, I certainly appreciate you saying that, and it makes me and Keith feel all warm inside, because like we're just two guys that love wrestling and just love being a part of a show, even at the local level here, and just support. We try to support as many promotions in our area as possible, and of course, try to support promotions across the country, because we're talking to you and you're down in Mississippi, and
Yeah.
it's not like I can get in a car and drive to your show on April the 15th. I'm supposed to ring announce that day, but
Yeah, we got a show that day too.
we got a show that day. But I'm just saying, even if I didn't have one, it's not like I could just jump in a car and go see you live. So it's really cool that we've gotten to know you. This is your third time on here. We appreciate you for everything you've done so far in the business, and everything you're going to continue to do down there, because I know that the fans down there love you. You called them earlier the Hillbilly University, and that I know that they're firmly behind you to get back into that ring, to keep going until the wheels fall off. They want to see their Hillbilly Joe. They want to see him get back the SWA championship. And so you're doing your part. How big or small it is, it doesn't matter. You're doing your part to make this business a better business, and I appreciate you for that.
Well, I want to return the favor and say thank y'all for what y'all do. Y'all up there in Pennsylvania, right?
Pennsylvania,
Yeah. All right. I'm down here in Mississippi. Y'all and y'all get people all over the country and everything to come on your show and talk. There may be promoters looking for somebody like a hillbilly, or like.
did he freeze?
I think he did.
Yeah.
But he's 100% right. If we get one guy an extra
There
booking,
he is.
one girl an extra booking,
Yeah,
it's worth it. It's worth it. We've done our job.
Y'all reach out to so many people that some of y'all, and it's just not just in y'all's area. They may be a promoter somewhere in Alabama or Louisiana or Arkansas that just
Our
comes
next
in here
guest is from Colorado.
Yeah. And that may come in here and watch y'all's live, but may not say nothing and be like, I've been looking for a type of wrestler like that. Let me see if I can get a hold of them.
Mm-hmm.
Y'all open the doors for a lot of wrestlers just as well. And I thank y'all for that.
Thank you.
We thank you for being part of it.
Y'all do an awesome show. It's great. I have no issues. Y'all had another SWA member. Well, y'all had two of them on there.
We had Reggie. Yeah.
Reggie, and then you had Blade on here.
We had the Bruise Brothers.
Yeah. I was talking to Reggie not too long ago, and he said, man, I would love to come back.
Oh, we would love to have him.
He said he had a blast when he was on here.
Yeah.
We appreciate that. We really do appreciate that.
And
well, we're gonna.
unfortunately, I was like, yes, I reached out to you, said, hey, if you need anybody to come on your show, I said, I ain't been on there in a while. I said, I think it's time for Hillbilly to, bring some Hillbilly University to y'all shows for a minute. And I was like,
we need Hillbilly Joe to come to SWO and 3 Legacy Wrestling. They want a little bit of southern style up north.
Yeah.
Y'all gotta have some sweet tea if I come up there.
Yeah. I know all about the sweet tea. My stepfather's from Kentucky.
Okay.
There you go.
But yeah, hey, I mean, it's like I said before, when I was on your show before, you asked if I'm be willing to travel and stuff, if we can get, things worked out. I went to Arkansas,
Yeah.
and I went to Alabama a couple of times.
That's awesome.
That's about as far as I went, because I had other promotions, calling me in North Carolina, and talking to me in North Carolina, South Carolina, Atlanta, and there was a couple of them in Tennessee, and then COVID hit, and then they just knocked everything off, and I just really didn't try to reach out anymore. I just said, well, I'll just focus on SWA, and there's a couple of little small promotions around here that I go to every once in a while, but SWA is my home. That's where I got started. That's where Hillbilly Joe was born, and I'm always going to be committed to SWA. SWA is going to be number one. If some promoter wants me to go, I'm going to check, make sure I'm not booked with SWA before I book myself and all that with anybody else. I'm kind of like The Undertaker was to WWE, like Randy Orton is to WWE. SWA is my home. That's it. They come first before any kind of other promotions. And, I'm not trying to be mean or anything when I say.
Yeah.
He might have frozen.
Yeah.
He might have froze again.
Yeah.
He'll be back.
Yeah, you got to support the people that supported you.
Oh, are you back there, Joe?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay. Awesome. Okay, so to wrap this up, man, we appreciate you to the utmost. Tell Reggie he's welcome back anytime.
Yeah.
Let him know.
Yeah, you let him know. And we hope you enjoy night 2. I can't say I hope you enjoy night 2 as much as you enjoyed night 1, because I don't know if that's going to happen for any of us. But we're going to try.
Yeah,
we're going to try. It's WrestleMania. We're going to try.
Like you said in the beginning, good luck night 2.
Yeah.
Good luck night 2.
Luck.
You ain't kidding, man.
Yeah.
Joe, don't go away before we go off the air, okay?
All right.
Professor, next week on Around the Turnbuckle, there is no Around the Turnbuckle. Why? Because it's Easter Sunday, and I know not everybody celebrates Easter Sunday, but I do. I don't know about you, Professor, but
yeah, we do.
I do. And so I hope everybody has an enjoyable Easter or whatever you celebrate holiday weekend next Sunday. We will not have an Around the Turnbuckle. However, we will be back on April the 16th, Sunday at 6 o'clock with Plex the Livest. And that'll be interesting.
Yes.
Very interesting. So we'll get into that more when we see you guys next. But again, no show next Sunday. Enjoy your holiday, and we'll see you on the 16th. Professor, you got any parting gifts for Hillbilly Joe before we sign off?
Just the usual. Thank you so much for coming on and supporting us and being part of this and being part of the Around the Turnbuckle family. It means the world to me.
I love it. I mean, it's a great show. And, I do have y'all's name on Hillbilly University wall, just like I do all the fans. Y'all are on there.
Love it.
Yeah. And, I love coming on here, love talking. I know it's been a pretty good gap since the last time and this time. But, anytime y'all need a Hillbilly back, just give me a holler.
All right.
Professor, we're honorary degrees in Hillbilly University.
Right?
Yeah.
That's awesome. All right. On that note, we'll see you guys next time on Around the Turnbuckle.
You think you know me?